Good day, folks. We're here today at the Inverleith Park. This is a sanctuary for wildlife. There are records of model boat clubs using the pond from the early 1900s and of powered model boats being sailed from the 1920s at present. Members of the Edinburgh Model Boat Club use the pond every Sunday during sailing season, May to September. Their boats range from high-speed racing craft through to sailing vessels, warships, commercial ships and fully functional submarines. Many events and regattas have been held over the years, including the first Scottish Model Yacht Racing Championships in the 1981. Ice skating was also a popular activity on the pond during hard winters when the water froze over. In addition to skating and model boating, the pond has hosted a variety of activities over the years, including fly fishing competitions in the 1950s and even a swimming gala in 1901. The gala was held to raise funds for the 10 survivors of a gas explosion and a fire at nearby Todd's Mill in Stockbridge. Contestants in the men's race had to swim the length of the pond, and young children screamed in fright when the swimmers emerged from the water covered in weeds and mud. Clean water. Originally the water in the pond was stagnant, so weed and algae became a serious problem in 1914. A fresh water supply was diverted from the water mains into and through the pond so that it became a fine sheet of clear water. Further weed problems have been solved over the years by annual clearing and the use of weed-resistant gravel. In 2006, a reed bed filtration system was added on the western end of the pond by Water Gems, an Edinburgh-based landscape and water features company. The project involved planting native wetland species and the creation of a boardwalk to allow public access across the pond. The reed bed has prevented the growth of poisonous blue algae, a serious problem in the summer due to swan droppings, and has also attracted local wildlife back to the pond in 2007. The project won well-deserved praise and recognition at the Bally British Association of Landscape Industries awards ceremony. Now we'll go on to the wildlife. Okay. Over the years, the pond has been an important habitat for a variety of bird species, including mute swans, mallards, moorhens and coots, which all breed on the pond. In winter, there are tufted ducks as well as lesser black-backed and other gulls. Also spotted are Canada and grey lag geese, goosendeers, pied wagtail, grey heron, oystercatcher and occasionally kingfisher in the reed beds when the water level is high. Allotments. The allotment area in the northwest corner of the park was created in 1941 as part of a national programme to increase agricultural self-sufficiency during the Second World War. Locals were greatly encouraged to dig for victory through films, posters, exhibitions and demonstrations of how to grow their own vegetables. One poster slogan boldly stated, "Every square yard put into cultivation helps to defeat the submarines and save our ships. Put your garden on war service today." The campaign was highly successful. It was estimated that by the end of the war, some 10% of all food grown in Britain was in allotments and private gardens. The Inverleith Allotments Committee was formed in 1942 and together with allotment holders fought to keep the allotments running in the post-war decades when interest dwindled and the convenience food became more readily available. Today there are long waiting lists for the now highly popular plots on the Inverleith site, which in 2010 and 2011 won the Edinburgh in Bloom competition. So there we are, folks, this is the Inverleith Park we're in today. And as you can see, there's a picture of them in the olden days. What life was like back there. Now we'll take a walk down, see if we can see some of these swans and mallards and ducks, etc. and show you them, show you around there. But it's a lovely place. This is one of the first days of the lockdown restrictions being lifted, and as you can see, the people are starting to get out and about down there in the parks. It was splendid this morning. We had a lot of sunshine this morning, but it seemed to have come into slight drizzle and the sun's disappeared. We're due heavy rain tomorrow. We'll just have to get on with it like everything else. Go along this way. Yes, we seem to forget the wildlife under this crisis that we're in, this COVID-19 crisis, and a lot of the wildlife parks and ponds are neglected because the people can't get out to give them a little bit of a feeding, you know. So this is why we have to keep an eye on the wildlife and do our best to try and look after them best we possibly can. There are certain councils that send warders out to make sure that they're all right, especially the swans. Plenty of open ground for people to walk, and they're relieved that they can manage to get out and have a walk. Being under this COVID lockdown is not a very pleasant thing for a lot of people, that especially that are outdoor people, you know, they like to be outdoors all the time. So there we are, folks. I'll give you a look at the swans. That's the swans over there. They may come over. Okay. The unfortunate thing is we're not allowed to feed them bread. Apparently it interferes with their inners. So there's signs there telling the public not to feed them with the bread. But I'm sure there'll be other alternatives. I see people with bags of feed from the pet shops and what have you. The pet shops would advise them what to buy for the ducks and the swans and the wildlife birds. Okay. I'll try and get some of them over to you to let you see them. Here, peace. The gulls seem to be in a talkative mood. Here's the swans coming over now. You'll get a look at the swans now. You see them coming over? See them there? And there's a mother with its baby swan there. Can you see them? As I say, we're not allowed to feed them bread, but I do see a lot of people there with different alternative foods for them, which is a good thing. There are normally one or two swans with their siblings, a lot more siblings than the one, but in this case there's only one here, so stork sold them short. So there we are, folks. Isn't it a lovely sight? Great sight, all the different wildlife birds, a beautiful pond, and at this time of the year, when everything is nice and green, all the grass and what have you, and the trees and what have you, it looks pretty good. Okay. So we'll make our way up to the entrance now, folks. That's the ducks now, ducks and swans, and over there is your other wildlife over there. A couple of pigeons there looking at something as well. So there we go. We'll make our way out now, folks. Might be able to go over this bridge. I don't think so, it's closed. You get a lot of the smaller ducks and birds in this section. So there we are, folks. That's an insight to this lovely park here. We'll make our way out to the entrance now. It's starting to rain a bit. It's not deterring the people, though they're enjoying it. After being locked up for so many days, so many weeks, they're enjoying the outdoors pursuits. Edinburgh is very, very fortunate because it has a lot of green belts, a lot of green banks, places that you can go and visit. Very pleasant. And of course the famous botanical gardens are near here. Very popular with tourists and locals. I may put that on the tick list for one of our journeys. We'll visit the botanical gardens. Okay. So coming to the entrance now, folks. That's our insight to the Inverleith Park. Okay. Signing off from Inverleith Park here in Edinburgh, and we will hope to see you on the next journey. Thank you for viewing. Bye for now.